hopefully you can hear in the microphone, so it's not as bad as it would be without a microphone. The sun is not, you can't see it. The sun is going down. Evening. There we go. So the sun is just going down. It has been super windy the last couple days. I don't know if this is like a storm thing from Dave, because I don't think this is Dave, but this is something completely different. So the garbage cans have fallen over. That's new today. Let's see. The car is still there. We're a little concerned about this tree. Hey, I see Osman and Brutus here. And some others. PJ's here. So this is a tree branch. The bushes are completely, no, that's part of a tree there. We heard this big crack because Karl and I, we're tiny house living. This is a big house, but it's cold, so we're mostly living just here. In that room, it's like one. So our heads are like right there on that corner, and we hear this big crack. And I thought, since one of these rungs is missing or fell off earlier in the winter, I thought maybe the rest blew off. But no, Karl goes out and checks. It must be, I don't know what time in the morning. And nope, it's still there. Don't see what the problem is. But I thought something was loud. And then he looks over at the tree here. He says, well, maybe it was that branch, but I mean, it was really loud. And then, so we go to work the next day. Still can't see anything. But when we come home, we see what it was. It's on the other side of the tree. There. This used to have a whole new prong, and I'll walk around and you can see it. Let's see. There you go. Luckily it didn't go the other way. I guess we got some firewood, huh? Nope, so we sent a message to the property owner, but see, we're a little concerned about that tree there, though. Because that's, for Gudvangen, that's a really tall tree. I don't know if you can see way up there how much it's blowing. Yeah, we might not want to be in the kitchen tonight. You can, I don't know if there's any more snow up there. The wind's been blowing it off all day. There's sunset in Gudvangen. Yeah, it's kind of blowing towards the house. We were worried about that last year. Last fall, a guy came and looked at it and said, I would suggest you guys cut that tree down. So we told the landlord. But yeah, it's a little creepy there, so we're gonna have to be a little careful. No, we're at home. We're not on holiday, we're in Gudvangen. The village is just around this avalanche here. There's an avalanche here, and then the road goes around. And if you drive that way for about 5 minutes, you're there. So now everyone knows where I live. No, but the important thing is we're renting. We're not here forever. It's just location, location, location. The fact that it is 5 minutes a drive from work is really nice, or a 40-minute walk. But you can see it's not like lots of water either, or snow melting. But yeah, firewood. But you know what, if you're the kind of person that wants to use birch bark for anything, there's a pretty hefty amount of birch bark that can be fielded. But look how big this thing is. I mean, it's huge. So, I don't know, maybe we cut off branches, but firewood could be a better situation this year. But I see the fence down there is open, which means the sheep aren't let out yet. Yeah, no, they're gonna have to chainsaw this sucker. This isn't for us to do. But there's a piece of found wood. That was part of that branch. Via! Yeah, I just need someone with a chainsaw. Heidi, you have a brother. He can come over and do it. Keep some for himself, maybe. It's a lot of work, though. You can see how thick that sucker is. There's my hand. It's pretty big. But yeah, no, if you want to sit there and chop it, I guess. But I guess if it was sod right here, then it would mostly be on the ground at that point. But yep, so yeah, we're having a little bit of weather. Oh, there's some more. Look over there too. That's even broken. I didn't see that. But that must have happened when the tree fell. Let's see if I zoom in. Yeah, that must have happened when the tree hit it on the way down. But it was just this really loud noise and it woke us up. I don't know what in the hell time it was in the morning, but at least barely light out. Ah, there you can see the snow is being blown off the top of the mountain there. But Karl's sister, the one that lives down in the south of Norway outside of Kristiansand, they got hit with the storm system Dave. There you can see it kind of blowing right up in the middle there. There. And that one did some big damage, blew over some fences and things of theirs, so you can see it kind of blowing over there too, off the mountain. So it's just been blowing the snow off the mountain today, so it looks like little avalanches, but it's not. But yeah, a little concerned about that tree. So it does have some pretty strong roots, but when it comes to Gudvangen, that is a very tall tree. Now you know why. The trees either blow over or they're trying to grow on a mountain. But yeah, so this was our outdoor adventure for today. Let's see, we'll just admire the damage and I'll scroll through here. I see Maggie's here from Colorado, welcome back. And Amro is here. And Nolvia is here. And Albert's here, Asmon, PJ. Yeah, no, so they could probably, yeah, Vea. So this is, you can see Heidi is the Norwegian in the conversation because she's like, wood, free wood. PJ says, we lost a tree in a park a few days ago. Luckily it fell before the park run because it landed right on the path. Yeah, that's pretty much what this is. So normally if you wanted to walk to work, not along the highway that goes around that way, you would walk this way. But you wouldn't get too far. I know you saw before when we tried to walk as far as we could that way in last year before we would hit avalanches or before we would lose internet coverage, but that's avalanche hits there. So when that comes down, it goes straight out over here. It won't hit our house, but that's because it goes up again where we are. I feel like I'm screaming, but I don't know how much I'm using the microphone, which has a little thing on it, so that you don't have to hear the wind as much. So if it's still blowing through that, then you get an idea of how windy it is today. Apparently we were supposed to get up to 23 kilometers per hour of wind. I don't know if they're talking about up there, because that's a lot. But then again, when I look on the weather site for today, it says 8 to 11, and I'm thinking that's more than 8 to 11. So, but anyway, this was, let's see, today's Saturday. This was Thursday night. This happened. So, not a very good climbing tree anymore. Oh, but it's a big old tree and he's got roots. He'll be growing some more. Let's see. But everything else seems to have fared pretty well. The village actually fared pretty well. Usually when we have wind, this the other thing too is, by the way, just to interrupt myself, the fjord is over there and Voss is over there. So the wind is blowing this way, which is unusual. Usually the wind blows that way, which makes it really cold because it's coming off the mountain into the fjord. But because it's coming this way, it's bouncing off the mountains on the way, which is another, oh yeah, there's another fallen tree. I didn't think that was fresh, but it is. It doesn't look fresh on this side, but it does on the other side. More branches. You can't see it too well, but it's fresh in there. I'm not even sure where that fell off of, actually. Oh, up there. But that one looked like it was a lot thinner and worse for wear. No, so it'll be adventurous. If Karl and I are not here tomorrow, or next week, It could be that tree, but that tree is pretty solid though. So it's just that it's very big compared to the house, and if it hits the right way. But we're renting. So anyway, let's see. Stay clear of the trees on windy days. Oh yeah, definitely. PJ says we lost a tree in a park. Oh yeah, that's right, because of the run thing. You don't want to have that. They've had annoying weather today. PJ's in England, by the way. It rained all morning while I had to wait outside for a compost delivery, and after that it alternated between sunshine and pouring rain every half hour or so. Today it's just been beautiful weather, but windy as hell. So we even had to close the houses in the village, the windows, because the shutters were banging. You can see it's pretty sky otherwise. Very dramatic. Now the sun is down. We've witnessed sunset. Anyway, so then we'll head up and we'll work a little bit more on the stitch of the month, which is not a stitch of the month. It's like the stitch combination of the month, I guess, this time. It's Oslo and Korgen. I'm doing F1. You could do F2. I saw Nikki got creative with it and tried Faubourg and Mammon, I believe it was. Anyway, she used another 2-stitch combo to see what would happen, and it's kind of a fun way to experiment. When you use a thinner yarn, you can see the loops a bit more as far as if there's a hole or not. When you use a thicker yarn, if there was a hole created, it's kind of sealed more. So you can see up there too a little bit. But we didn't get too much rain, although we did notice an interesting phenomenon when Karl and I were walking up the mountain. You can see where the ice really, ripped up the driveway this year. As we get a little further up, the ground gets really, really wet, like standing water wet. We're trying to figure out where the hell's that coming from. Because we walked across in there and picked out some branches, and they're drying by the house. We'll pick up some more later, so you can just burn them. But the ground here is really, 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 really wet. You can see it's, let's see. Oh, I'm just zooming in on chat. There you go. You can see standing water there, which is kind of interesting because, let's see if I can get the gimbal to turn around. Where is it coming from? There's no standing water up there. There's no standing water up there. So we're not exactly sure. Oh, the wind is blowing my gimbal. We're not exactly sure where it's coming from. It just kind of stops around here. It's not wet anymore. But this is on a hill. Whoops, sorry. There it goes, spitting back quickly. Yeah, there's more standing water there, and it almost looks like it's moving. But that could be the wind. But we have no idea where it's coming from. So I'm wondering if we might have to look in the basement and see if there's an issue. Is the white ice or chalk up there? No, well, the white is ice. Or there. Let's see if I zoom way up. That's snow and some ice. The ice usually looks blue over here. A little bit like glacier, like the thicker the more. Like there's a patch, if I can see it on the camera here. Let's see. There. That's ice. Holy crap, is it windy. That's ice up there. So it kind of looks blue when I get my finger out of the way. Oh, on the ground. No, that's water. No chalk. This is the white on the rock. This is the rock. It looks like chalk on the ground, but if you see on the mountains, see there's a nice white patch. That's obviously not ice or snow. That's what happens when there's an avalanche. And if the rock breaks off and the rock becomes exposed, the actual color of the rock, it is anorthosite. It's this white color, which is what we have in the village too. All these mountains are full of it. It's I think it's lunar anorthosite. So it's there's a mine further up the road where they're mining it. Actually, it's not really a mine. It's more like a big pit because apparently you can make. I think it's a component of aluminum or something. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah. But that's, we actually kind of like the white rock in the village. It packs down real hard. So if you kind of pulverize it and then keep trampling it, it'll eventually turn into like this concrete kind of a thing. But also because it is so light colored that if you just have a moon out at night and nothing else, you can't, no sun obviously, no flashlight, you can see because it kind of lights up the ground a bit. So that's a thing I kind of like about it anyway. But it is extremely sharp on your feet, so it's known for killing Viking shoes. So this is why we tell people that, or the Viking reenactors, if you think that it's not a good idea to wear rubber soles on the bottom of your Viking shoes, you've clearly never spent a considerable amount of time in Gudvangen, because it just eats through. There you can see the wind is blowing the snow off the mountain there. It almost looks like it's snowing up there, but no, it's just blowing it. So anyway, that's our concern for the day, week. Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that. Anyway, but I was really surprised at that one though, because it was this loud bang and I was so sure that it was the deck that blew apart, but it wasn't. Oop, okay, so we're gonna go in. you can get to like the wind. I'll demonstrate what that looks like. Then I got some more fun things to tell you today. Let's see. But first, firewood. Okay, I have to walk a little carefully. There's a thing in Norway called krystallsyke, which is apparently translates to BVVP, or no, BPPV. No idea, but apparently you get little crystals in your ear. And if they're out of shift, your balance is fucked and you get vertigo. That happened yesterday. Don't know where. Never had a problem with that before. But I'm going to have to take a little easy today so I don't... oops, I can't do my code door. I have to take it a little easy anyway so I don't get dizzy. Well, it's not dizzy. It's vertigo. It's really weird. And I think if I'm going to feel like that, I should have at least drank a lot the night before to earn it. Okay, then we see if Karl is ready. Karl, have you pacified the cats? No, I think he's outside. Maybe he's pooping. All right, well, firewood. I'll leave that for Karl. It's actually pretty solid. Okay, then he cleaned off the table for me. Now, I did call the doctor today, by the way, and gave me some exercises to do, which basically involves slamming my head on the couch. Look the other way and slam your head. Fresh wood will be quite smoky, yeah, but we would just let it dry out by the fireplace and then we can use it. But it goes in we have tons of wood from all those empty pallets outside. I don't know if you saw it. That was, oops, sorry. There, all the empty pallets outside, that was firewood that we just had brought in. So it's plenty to go. So we just, any new wet wood, pine cones, etc., we just dry them by the fire before using them. I have to put my hair up. The cat is snuggling the gimbal. There. Knock it off, Fuzzy. There. Okay. So anyway, that was our fun week. We're still enjoying leftovers from Audra and Vilborg. I was going to make some coffee and have some of the wine she brought, but due to the vertigo thing, it says avoid extra coffee and alcohol. So I don't think that's going to happen today. Just a second, I have to knock the cat off the floor. There, onto the floor, sorry. But she brought us chocolate. So we can have chocolate today. I'll wait until Karl gets here and we'll try that. I can show you a little bit what I did. I finished the hat from last week. It's inside out intentionally to try to keep cat hair from getting and fuzzy on the outside. So there we go. I just took off my, or put my hair up, so I guess it won't be so. I need to, it's a little bumpy. This is York stitch, York F1 this is. No, F2, sorry, I did do York F2. But this is thumb tensioned. Yeah, the color is so fun. This is this yarn called Bazinga. No idea where my mom got it. Somewhere, it's Italian yarn, but it's called Bazinga. I don't know, you could probably get some somewhere. It's most likely vintage. Probably expensive as hell because my mom's a yarn snob. Darn. But Anyway, the colors are really quite cool. I do believe there's some acrylic in here. I think I can, here I think I have the yarn. Yeah. Bazinga. Turn it around here and we can look at it a little bit more. I don't have my computer up and running, so I have to turn that on and we can see in the chat. There we go. So there. So I did top down, so if you were going to look at the York stitch, this never happens too. Look at my ending there. It just blended right in. I think it's because the yarn gets a little thick and thin in some places, and it was just happened to be thin right there, but that never happens that it looks that straight. Usually there's a little bump, but I'm not going to complain. But anyway, there's York stitched the right way, York F2, thumb tensioned. And the yarn was called, okay, so $6.30 per skein, and this has got to be a probably 15-year-old yarn, so it would probably be twice that today. Plymouth Yarns has it. Okay. I have to look. I can't read it through the camera. Made in Italy. 50 grams or approximately 55 yards. Yeah, this is actually 1.5 of those skeins for this hat. Your hat is in York, says Nikki. 2.5 stitches if you're using size 11 needles is 1 inch. Sorry. Hand wash, lay flat to dry. But this, it doesn't feel like it's 100% wool. There's got to be some. Yeah, it is. There we go. 55% wool, no, 53% wool, 47% acrylic. I had absolutely no problem spit splicing this sucker. Your Prudis says, your extended family isn't exactly known for getting things straight. Is that to me or is it some, okay, anyway, yeah, but, yep. Anyhow, but yeah, it was absolutely no problem splicing it. Actually, I still have some left over here. So you can splice acrylic yarn, or I mean not acrylic yarn, but you can splice blended yarn. But I would say you need at least 30% wool. You can spit splice superwash, but that is not going to be easy. You're going to need a lot of rage. I see we have a cat on the screen. Okay, so Zilly, you're going to have to go play over there. Okay. He thinks that it's an invitation to lay down on the bed there, on the thing. Kitty! Oh, it's a joke about the LGBTI. We got a lot of that in the family. Okay, so here it's a little on the fuzzy side, or it's on the thick side. So I was actually thinning this. You can see I've got, in my scrap jar, I've got little pieces of it. Because it was so thick, but it does in some places get a little thinner or tighter spun. I keep going off camera with this, but so I split it into, pulled away 1/2 of it, and then if it's this thick on the other side, I would have done the same thing. I see Karl. Karl, you all done pooping? Then pull away 1/2 of it to reduce the thickness. I brought you a present. Yeah, I'll show you as soon as I'm done split splicing this. Okay, so now it's about half the thickness there and half the thickness there. Yeah. Karl just got jumped on by a cat. But then I'm using a bigger overlap. Sometimes you can get away with just this much overlap, but really, you should, when it's got acrylic in it or something or mixed, you want to kind of use a bit more. Whoop! I meant for that to happen. I knocked over the gimbal because I wanted to bring this yarn up to me, and I used this yarn and knocked over the whole damn gimbal. I need to pull some out a bit. Okay, we're going to add spit. You don't need to see that. And then you need some rage, and then it will go. It won't be a super strong splice though, but it, it'll work through quite a few knots, that stuff. So there, but it will work. And then I have to, you can see kind of there how it's spliced around color-wise there. The episode with the Tri-Ving did, yeah, that was Sally's Pointers book. Yeah, I'll talk about that one too, the Hybrid Vig Stitch. Anyway, when I pull this through, I can't pull it too hard. I just have to pull it through a little at a time until I get past the splice. Because if I really want to, I can pull it apart. It's not the strongest splice, but it will do in a pinch. So there you go. 47% acrylic, and it does work, but it's just not the easiest thing in the world. And then Karl went outside just about when I was going to show him his thing, but then I'll show his present that I brought him from outside. The big block of wood. Okay. Then I finished, didn't really, but kind of, this hat, which looks a little wonky because it was sitting at this stage for the longest time. And apparently my gauge looks like it changed. Well, actually it doesn't show up too much on camera, but I can see it with the naked eye quite easily. To me, it looks a little looser right here. Or there. Somewhere around here anyway, it looks a little bit looser. But I'm hoping if I steam block it and kind of stretch it into place, that little part won't be as obvious anymore. This is done in Oslo F1. Meant to be kind of loose. And it is done with that teal yarn that my mom had that has some silk in it. But it was so thin, and I could have made the most wonderful hat out of this with a dense stitch in this thin yarn, but too lazy for that. So I doubled it the whole way through to make it slightly thicker. And then I still used Oslo F1 because I wanted it to be kind of a loose fitting hat, like a slouchy kind of hat. But it turned out quite nice, and the yarn is such a pretty color. But I will steam block it because it's bugging me that it's a little bumpy in places. Another cat shows up. Get down. Go on, cat. Yeah. Anyhow, but that one's done. I just have to finish off the thread, and then I'll steam block both of them to kind of shape them a bit. So I'll store this one inside out, though, just so it doesn't snag on the outside. Karl. Yay. I'm going to switch off the microphone. Hopefully you'll still be able to hear because... Alright, I'm doing it. I'm turning it off. Okay, thumbs up if you can still hear, because now you're on the iPhone microphone. There's Torben. Yep, Torben had a birthday. We sent him some orcs. Ah, the pocket god. So, Karl, I brought you a present from outside. There it is. Bring it out. You can hear. Yay.
This?
I brought you a block of wood. Yeah, that fell off the tree.
Yeah, of course it did.
You just have to dry it up a bit and it'll be fine. Only want to carve it or something? I don't know. it's huge, but that's a big chunk from the tree.
Yep.
It was just laying there, by the way, and then Heidi Lee sits there going, everyone's like, wow, that looks like it was huge, and da-da-da, and must have been loud, big noise, whatever, and then there's Heidi going, Ved! We have wood! And I was like, yep, true Norwegian.
Yep.
Never pass up firewood, free firewood. What to make with it? Yeah, so are we going to burn this, or are you going to make something with it? You could wood carve with that. It's still got some moisture in it.
I could.
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird shape to work with, but I can make weird shapes out of it.
You want to make weird shapes out of it? Can you make an orc?
I could.
Can you make Otter the Beaver Butcher? I forgot to bring the timetable. Yeah. Karl found a book that would be a good reference. It's the Atlas of the Viking Age, I think it's called. I need to actually turn on my computer. So Karl, how was it like blowing away in the village today? And by the way, that pine tree out there is looking pretty scary today. So I don't know if we want to go that close to the window.
It was perfectly fine 99% of the time. But
Yeah.
the 1% was kind of interesting.
And the 1% was kind of interesting. Yeah.
This isn't what I would refer to as strong wind back home. But
No,
for Gudvangen, it's kind of interesting.
Well, it's blowing in the wrong direction too.
Yeah, it's kind of a unique direction. Normally, the really strong wind comes across the valley. This came down the valley and kind of at an oblique angle down the valley. So we had one sequence where a shield just left the weapon station and went rolling.
Oh, he went rolling like this, a big shield.
Yeah, and rolled into the axe throwing area. It's like that sort of thing is not really an issue for grown-ups. But if a little kid is in the way, that could be pretty
Could
bad.
get smacked, yeah.
So you always have the consideration, is it dangerous enough to close?
Down.
And that's kind of the job of the shift leader to ascertain.
Oh, we did close the house or the windows on the houses anyway.
Yeah. I had to use kind of a little trick to close the house where Rune used to live.
Yeah.
Because the hasp is gone.
Oh.
So I took a little twig and put into the...
to the slot to hold it.
No, underneath the actual plate of the window, and then I just smashed it closed.
Oh yeah, we had to do that with another door too that kept kind of banging. If you stuck a twig in between it, it would... Yeah. Let's see, now I've got my computer up. Now I can open YouTube, and then I can see all the chat instead of having to try to scroll while looking at the camera like this. Let's see. There we go. This is the one that says live. Oh, it's even like blinking live. Oh my God, I forgot to post on Facebook. I'll be doing that now. Karl, tell us the story. While I quickly write on Facebook that we're on. By the way, I forgot.
You have to be a little bit more precise on that. I can talk about almost anything, but a completely open page with just talk is...
So Heidi's in there, and she has a sweet little nephew.
Yeah.
How did he refer to you today? He's like 1.5 years old. Okay, you can tell that story while I'm quickly posting.
I don't know the story because you sent me the video.
I sent you the video.
Shaking the ice coffee box and screaming Karl, Karl, Karl. Because every time I take an ice coffee box, I kind of go like this before I open it. And he has noticed this. And when he got his hands on an ice coffee box, he was doing it enthusiastically.
I thought that was funny. So now he equates Karl to a nice coffee box.
Most people do.
Oh, my message is sending. The mail you tried to view was not found. Yeah, no, I noticed that. Oh, I wrote this big order email today while being dizzy because I can't scroll, but I can just have a blank screen up there. Took my time with it. And it was, then I went to go and check one thing and I came back and the whole thing was gone. I thought it was in the drafts. It wasn't there. Stupid. Anyway, it looks like I can't actually post on Facebook right now because I've probably got too many windows open and using, oh, nope, there it goes. Let's see. Crap. Forgot to post, but we're live now. Let's see, then we put the link and then... I need another story, Karl.
Okay.
When you were a kid, there was an episode back in Celia with some really strong wind. Things got broken.
Multiple. I wasn't exactly a kid.
Neighbor's window. Tell me the story. Tell them.
I wasn't exactly a kid, but I was way too young to drink, and it was New Year's Eve. Let's see. Was it 91 maybe? The New Year hurricane. I believe it was 91. So I would be 16.
You're such a pup.
I'm... I was at the open house party in the community house, but obviously the power cuts out. So people are trying to drink in the dark. And a lot of drunken Celja, people from Celja in a big dark room is kind of a dangerous thing. So at one point I decided to leave. It's now a little bit over midnight on New Year's Eve. And I walk home with a friend of mine. But the road that goes to my house is here, and his house is kind of there. So if I am to go follow the roads and go from his house to my house, I have to go practically all the way back to where I came from and then go another road home. But there is a way to cut across. But then I have to basically walk through the garden, the yard of one of my neighbors. And he has this, you know, like the things that go into a chicken coop. The platting with little wooden
Waddling?
Is that what it's called?
It's where the wood goes into each other like our fences?
No. Oh. It's, you have a plank with small sticks on it like this. So you kind of have this railroad track for chickens.
The tree really is kind of...
And he had something similar for his cat, so that his cat could just walk through his bedroom window instead of him going all the way out to let the cat in the main door. And it was so windy. It was orkan, hurricane. And when I come up his stairs, so that I'm in his garden, I'm almost blown directly back down the stairs. So I just go like this, bend forward and run. And I completely forgot about his little cat stair thingy. So I run directly into it and smash it into his window, breaking it. And I go, oh, fuck. I should probably walk around the house, ring the doorbell and just confess what I've done. But then the next thought in my head is, wait a minute. Isn't it supposed to be extreme weather tonight? The hurricane can take the blame. So I just sneak off, run home and go to sleep. And normally when I've been drinking, I'm okay. I don't get a hangover as long as I get to wake on my own. If I'm woken up by some kind of outside force, oh yeah, I'm going to get a hangover.
You're going to have to remember that.
Outside force that woke me up this time was all the roof tiles of another neighbor hitting the wall underneath my window at high speed. His entire roof was gone.
Holy crap, yeah. No, that probably wasn't you then.
What now?
No.
No, another neighbor, not the same.
Oh, the other one. Yeah, I was going to say.
So, Naturskadefondet probably had to replace a window that I, strictly speaking, wouldn't have to replace
What's
normally.
that, Natural Disaster Fund?
Yeah, it's something we have in Norway. It's just like, I believe it is in most places, acts of gods, God, natural disasters are not covered by normal insurance. Because that would completely, something like this, a storm that basically breaks every second building in all of Western Norway, that would completely bankrupt insurance companies. So instead we have this thing called Naturskadefondet. It's natural disaster money that we just put aside every year so that when the shit hits the fan, we can repair the fan or the shit or whatever is broken.
Oh, PJ says we're actually louder now, but I think it's because when I came in the house, I had the microphone was like this way instead of... By the way, you have some ideas of things that you should make with that wood, that big block of wood there. Big, huge. No, it's not. But actually, it was two people that came up with it right at the same time. Make a long boat, but it's so tiny, says Nikki. And Torben says, make a short boat then. And then Verda says we got to batten down the hatches. By the way, Robertson from Glasgow. We have to get Karl a beer. Robert's here and Torben's here. The people that don't want to see the needle binding, they just want to see the beer. But we're doing needle binding. Pruda, I suspect that Karl is like me and has looked like that at the age of 12. Yes, because Pruda says, I don't believe Karl ever was a teenager. I demand photographic evidence.
I
might have one. I was looking for your card in covering, just cover certain details. Get the cat off the table and then I'll find it.
Off the table, cat. Come on.
Okay. I just have to get around the table.
Now, I went from very young looking to very old looking practically overnight. I never looked like a normal adult. So, I think it was just a few years in between when I was asked for, when I'm clean shaven, when I was asked for ID to buy beer. And when
Cat.
what keeps happening now is that I get to pay the price of a senior citizen when I travel with...
It's Karl. No beard.
There you have photographic evidence.
There he is. Hard to see. But there, and Jeffrey Dahmer glasses too, but you can't even see that in there. It's on a bank card, so that's all you get to see. It's AI! I'm going to put your card in your wallet. No, I think I had a kid photo in here, but I don't know if it's on, it might be on my phone, by the way. I can look it up and see.
You should be able to find some on my Facebook, presumably.
No, you're not that young on your Facebook, I don't think. I don't think
Not
the kid
my
photo
profile
is on
picture, but there are like.
Yeah, I will have to find some though. Maybe we turn that into the thumbnail next next week or something if I can find it. There is one place I could look. So you and I got together in 2020, so somewhere after 2020 there could be. Let's see how good the computer is. If I put Karl, will it find him? It comes up with 112 photos, but it's not going to find that one because you'll look like a kid there. No, it's going to be too tricky to find, but there's like a little kid photo. Do you have it on your phone? Let's see if I go to 2020 then. Or not 20, I don't know. Sometime when we were in, maybe if I do Celia. There we go. Then I can maybe look. 195 photos, see all. I found one. Okay, hang on. There he is! It's Karl! Photographic evidence and dual too, by the way, so you could hold it really close and it'd be like 3D. That's Karl with the Jeffrey Dahmer glasses. How old are we there in that nice acid-washed, stone-washed jean jacket?
I would say, I think that is 7th grade.
7th grade?
So...
There you go. It's Karl without a beard.
It would be 13, 14.
It's stone-washed. I used to have stone-washed jean jacket too, I think, back in the... There you go. So this is what, 1984? No,
88 or
88?
something like that.
For clarity, I wasn't drinking. I was teetotal, said Robert. I was getting served in pubs when I was 14, and some guy thought... and some of the guys I hung out with who were 21 were still getting ID'd. But for clarity, I wasn't drinking. It was teetotally. But there you go.
This is a trick that we actually managed to pull off when I think I was
There he is.
17, and then I had a friend who was 15, but he looks very old. So what we did is that I take his ID and go up to the bar and try to buy a beer. Then they immediately say, yeah, but that's not the face on the ID. You're using the ID of that guy. And I go, yeah, okay, sorry, you caught me. And then I give his ID back to him, and he goes and buys a beer. He's still 15, but I'm not looking at the year anymore because I didn't think anybody would be dumb enough to try to buy beer with somebody else's ID if they were 15.
So, again, now you see him. Old man, a lot of gray. A little bit of a beard. And there he is. But wait, I found more. This was back when your mom was alive. She showed me all these. Which one of those people is Karl? This is class 1B, 1982 to 83. So you are, that makes you what, 8?
No, that would make me 6 or 7.
6 or 7, sorry, I can do math. Okay, do
If
you know which
it's
one is
before-
Karl? Take a look. Which one of these kids is Karl? And we'll see who gets it right. There is a time delay, so you only have a limited time to answer. Okay, so you get points if you can guess which row he's in. Is he in row 1, 2, or 3? This is not Karl, by the way. And then points if you guess if he's on the left side or the right side or in the middle. Where's Waldo? Celia edition. Bottom right, kid looking away. Says PJ, what's your other guesses? Let's see, we'll go kind of close again.
She's right.
Row 1, right kid. Yeah, any other guesses?
Why do you want more guesses when they're right?
Black and white stripe, row 1, right? Well, now we all know because Karl's not playing the game right. Actually, there's an amazing amount of kids in that shirt with striped clothing on. But, yep. There he is. Look at how cute! Check out the sink with the 2 taps, by the way. They don't make them like that anymore. Oh, there he is. Isn't he cute? Okay, so 45 years later. No Jeffrey Dahmer glasses, but the vision is just worse.
Nah, it's a little bit better actually.
He's so cute. Aw, you're getting all the cute comments now because you realize there is no way to say, oh my God, look at that geek. I think I beat that kid up. No, the one with the glasses, row 1. Yep, you got him. Actually, there was no fooling anybody. They picked you out right away.
Yeah, but am I the only kid with glasses in that picture? I think I might be.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's some pretty bad vision you had there, Karl. I don't think I had glasses until I was 7. Yeah, a little bit old. I think it was like 1 year older than you when I got glasses. Maybe, no, I was 7 when I got glasses. 7 to 10, somewhere around there. But I have pretty bad vision. But there he is. And then he would turn into this guy. And it was all downhill from there. Look how cute. Oh, I'm so glad that AI can figure out which is. All I did was look up Celia. Because I knew that the picture was done in... that I just took a picture of the picture he had in his
That picture
desk.
is not from Celia, by the way.
No, I took the picture of the picture in Celia. That's why I knew the location would say Celia. But, so cute. All right, now, do any of you guys recognize clothes you might have wore? I mean, I definitely would have had a sweater like that.
No,
I like the fox around the neck here.
No, you're just talking to the 50-year-olds, you know.
I actually did have a sweater like this with red. This guy is a Viking to be. I know it. But look at all the Norwegian sweaters, too. You got like Norwegian sweater. This is a Norwegian sweater probably with some interesting knit added to it. There's a Norwegian sweater with reindeer. There's another Norwegian sweater. So everybody has a grandma who knits. There you go. One last look. Whoop. Oh, yeah. The big birds. That's in Celia. That is Celia.
Yep.
Dahmer, says Roger. No, we all think he looks like Dahmer. And he sends a photo. Okay, I have to see. Let's see. I'll focus it on the actual Karl so I don't make you sick. The actual Karl. The live Karl. And then I'll see what Roger sent me here. Because I need 2 hands.
Well, if the text is Dahmer, he probably sent you a picture of Jeffrey Dahmer.
Well, he did, but it's the GIF comment that's the best. Why are you so salty? All right, we do have a little bit of other show and tell too before getting into needle binding. Let's see, I kept a little note somewhere and then I lost it. Oh, here it is. Because I had some pictures to show. Roger sent some other fun stuff too that we have to show.
What am I drinking today, woman?
I don't know. You have to go and get it. You're either having an outer drink or from that one that she brought with you, or you're having the Duvel that we got someone to pick you up.
I have like 8 duels, so it's most likely one of those.
It's going to be probably Belgian. Okay, so Roger sends this and says, it reminds me... Okay, this is in Huntington Beach, I assume. Let's see if I can hold the camera straight. There we go. So he finds it and he says, this reminds me, the spelling of mayonnaise here sounds like the mayonnaise. And we're having this conversation about the mayonnaise and the naise in French is nose, so it's like the mayonnaise. But I kind of liked that it was mayonnaise on the tuchus. And then we almost didn't notice it here. I don't know if I can zoom in. This mayonnaise has cat kisses. But there you go. So it's Holger mayonnaise. We're going to have to send him to it because Holger, our German guide, always says mayonnaise. But I like that. Mayonnaise on the tuchus and the cat kisses, my mayonnaise. Let's see. There was something else I was going to show. Ah, Nikki's got a stitch. Let's see. We'll look at me in for a minute. Till I can find it. Just because, which beer did you gonna get? Duvel?
Yeah.
Karl found a Duvel. Let's see, Nikki has been doing some needle binding too, and I think I have pictures of that she showed me. Oh yeah, there's a couple things to show here. One, the birthday card, I actually sent it to her that we sent Torben. I don't know if he noticed it yet. Happy birthday from Hallgrim and friends. I think he would like that. Which one is Hallgrim, by the way? And by the way, how would Hallgrim read that?
Well, Hallgrim is a half-orc, so he wouldn't really look like any of these guys. He would look a little bit more human.
Which one would he be mostly... Oops, sorry, here we go. Which one would he be mostly related to?
The enthusiastic guy in the center, I think.
And how would he say happy birthday from Hallgrim and friends? Wait. How would he say it?
Happy birthday from Hallgrim and Flam.
Okay, so there you go. Let's see. Zoom this back down again. Is it this way? Oh, yeah, this one. Nikki's been playing Cards Against Humanity or Crimes Against Humanity or whatever the hell it's called. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more vids of, smash that subscribe. Covering my body with Vaseline and sliding on the floor like a slug. So this is totally a Torben thing.
It's more of a Sten Finson thing, but yeah.
Well, he's the one that, Torben's the one that's been addicted to the amount of Vaseline that's being in the background of my, the little Vaseline tube, which is, by the way, not out today. Sorry, I ruined it. Anyway, so that one reminded her of him. Oh, yeah, then there, Nikki in her hat, and she's trying to give off Gudvangen vibes here. She's not far off, but that's in New Zealand. But yeah, look at her hat. It's so cute. And that was with a stitch. I think that was York, she said, as well. The one that she did the same stitch as mine, yeah. So then, let's see if I got through. Oh, Annetta's got dogs she sent us too. We have to show that one. We're doing a little show and tell here. Let's see. Annetta sent. I have a lot of message, but that's because we have work-related messages mixed in here. There. Annetta. She said, dogs without Carla. They're just waiting for Carla to make some noise in the background. But there was no Carla on YouTube last week because we were able to send from the village. That was very cute too, by the way. So I like that one. Okay. So it was my... yeah. Oh, and Santi sent one too. There was one more. But Santi put this one, I didn't realize it, but she tagged me in a photo, and apparently there's a whole section on Facebook that says, would you like to allow them to post it? I had things from like way back. People had null-bound my my hood pattern and shared it too like 3 years ago, and I didn't get to see it until now. Okay, Santi says, Karin, I wanted you to show Karl and y'all's other Warhammer friends. You know who you are. I want you to paint me like one of your Warhammer figures. Thank you for the orcs, Karin and Karl. Loves and kisses from the state of Bergenhofen. Don't say cucumber and you will be fined. Oh, from the sheriff of Bergenhofen. Okay, do you want to... Okay, first, Torben, is that what your paintings look like in Warhammer? Okay, Bergenhofen, the sheriff of Bergenhofen and the cucumbers. Tell me.
There is a pretty famous campaign in Warhammer Fantasy Battles called the Enemy Within campaign.
Yeah.
And it starts with a book called Shadows over Bergenhofen. Bergenhofen is one of the towns in the Empire. It's kind of Dutch-inspired. The Empire in itself is German, but Bergenhofen has a strange Dutch vibe to it. The way we played the scenario, everything went completely off the rails. So I'm not following the basic plot of the Enemy Within campaign at all. And in the end, when the dust has settled, the characters, Leif Ole, Torben, Sten, a few others, manages to kind of work themselves up into high positions in society in Bergenhofen. So Torben ends up with the role of sheriff of Bergenhofen. So he's basically responsible for law and order. And one of the things they did at the very end of the campaign was to kill a greater demon somewhere in the sewage system underneath Bøgenhofen. And in Warhammer, demons are kind of attracted to worship. But if people don't know that demons exist, they can't worship them and they can't attract them, and the demons won't be interested in them. So it's super important for the people in power to keep the existence of demons as secret as possible. But a bunch of playing characters killing a greater demon in the sewer is not exactly the most secretive thing in the known universe. So obviously rumors about demons start to spread. And Torben, in his role as sheriff of Bøgenhofen, makes it a finable offense to mention the word demon. So the people, not being completely stupid, decides to just exchange the word demon with the word cucumber. So he then insists on a twice as high fine for saying the word cucumber. And at one point, I think people could actually be executed for saying cucumber, which obviously is horrible for the vegetable salesman.
So there you go. No mentioning the word of a cucumber. By the way, Albert says that meme is real. Torben says, hey, what happens in Berghofen or whatever stays in Bergenhofen. Okay. Then Karl is like going to town on that beer. How is it, by the way? I'm assuming it tastes just like it always does.
Well, it's really good.
I have some chocolate I picked out. Actually, my head's doing a little bit better now, but I think it's because we're sitting still. Okay, there you go. We're going to have the Judasis chocolades, and I forgot what Judasis is. She told us. Dark chocolate. Okay, yeah, so it's once in Lithuanian and then once in English. 96% kakavus or cocoa. And then there's a little mention in the bottom here. High fiber, low sugar. 100 grams. So, we're going to have some of this today. Should be fun.
High fiber, low sugar. So you're telling me this is a hairy, bitter chocolate?
Might have. It'll be good. We couldn't eat it all last week, so we had to save some for this week. I should have brought a candy bowl. Carla is already jumping up on the table because she smells a package of something is going to be open.
Yeah, and if you manage to convince that cat that plutonium is human food, she will eat it.
Yeah, she is the biggest food thief. Okay, ready? Ooh, they smell so good.
It's so incompatible with bear. Why am I doing this?
Because you're stupid. Any twigs? Good though. It's dark chocolate though. You can definitely tell there's no sugar added.
Yeah, no, I can definitely tell that. But you should add sugar when you make chocolate, as a general rule.
It's not bad. Here you go, one more. I like it.
On the positive side, this is not possibly going to make my bear taste bitter like chocolate usually does.
It tastes like baker's chocolate.
This is like twice as bitter as bear. So this is going to make my bear taste sweet.
Pruda mentioned something that Karl loves to refer to. Has Torben never heard of the Streisand effect? And you love to refer to the Streisand effect. For those of us who don't know, what is the Streisand effect?
Well, it's basically as soon as you try to stop somebody from talking about something, they will talk more about it.
I know coffee.
It goes back to a guy who had he was making aerial photographies of the coastline in California. And he photographs, among other things, Barbra Streisand's mansion. And his webpage had like 16 views or something like that. And 2 of those were from Barbra Streisand's lawyer. And they tried to basically stop him from publishing pictures of her house from the air, which causes a court case that gets a lot of media attention because it's Barbra Streisand. Which causes the pictures of her house to be seen hundreds of thousands of times. So the Streisand effect is when you try to tell somebody not to say something, they will say it. Even if they have to exchange the word for cucumber.
Cucumber. Bergenhofen. Okay, and then Torben says, I don't listen to hip hop. Clearly, he doesn't know this dries in effect now, but Karl has enriched him. Okay, yeah, if we don't have coffee, because I forgot to make some apple, and this does work well with apple. Beer foam mustache, this Novia. He's famous for it. Okay, next up. Oh, I have one more little bit of show and tell on needle binding before I get to the book. Where did I put that? It might have fallen. I had I've seen that JD or J something. He usually uses the letter J, but now I just lost it. Oh, there it is. It fell on the floor. He he likes to try to play with stitches and make new stitches, different. Anyway, so we were trying to figure out how he made this stitch, and he calls it the bee stitch because it looked like bees. His looks more like bees than mine do because my yarn is thinner than his. So this was a little bit of needle binding temp. You can't look too close because I got little mistakes like right there. But this was me trying to figure out how his stitch was made. But because he has, he wrote down his code that he does, but his code is a little different than the code I know. So then I had to try to interpret how you'd say it anyway. But it turns, if I would do it the way Neulakentot has it, it would be RS for Russian stitch, which means you're flipping loops on the back of your thumb. 2 + 1 + 1, and then you connect with a F1B1, which is front one, back one. This is all Greek to some people, but some might get it anyway, but it has this cool effect. It is not the simplest of stitches to do because it's worked over 5 loops. You have a little flipping on the back, and you have a little bit more difficult connection. But it's not too bad anyway, but it looks kind of like little bees. Like there's the body, and there's the wings. I really got to clean my fingernails. And on his, because it was a little thicker, you didn't get such a very good view of this room in between. But do you see bee? Maybe if I turn it that way, it'll look, whoops, there we go. It looks more like bees. But it had such a cool texture to it. And you know what? The backside wasn't bad either, actually. I mean, if you ignore my mistakes. But the first row is wrong. Got to ignore the first row. Because the first row, yeah, that's the other thing is, it's also with a plated edge. So Russian, 2 + 1 + 1 with a plated edge and front one, back one connection. Piece of piss. Nothing on a day like that. Karl's giving me some seriously confused Hallgrim looks.
The only thing I'm left with here is that if you flip 2 people from behind, you might be a Russian.
Yeah, something like that. Or a bee. Because he calls it the bee stitch because it looked like little bees. And it kind of does. Anyway, this might be a fun one to try. I don't know if we're ready to do this next month, but you can see I tried it with a little thinner stitch. I could have gone slightly thicker, and it would have been more pronounced here where his is. But the first row, I forgot to do a plated edge, so the first row, they're slanting the wrong way. And the bottom.
I just really, really hope that Putin never takes up needle binding, because when he finds out that Lillehammer and everywhere else is part of the Russian family, he will come and take it.
Yeah, Russian 2 + 1 + 1 with a plated edge, and then you connect F1B1. So one new one from the front and one old one from behind. I was just waiting for Karl to blow up with that one. F1B1 connection. One new one from, I can actually show this here. Let's see. Let's see if I can get my camera to point downwards. No, it won't. We're just going to have to look at beer and chocolate in the background. See, I've got the wrong yarn on here. But anyway, this is your next loop. Normally your next loop. I think this one is actually facing the wrong way. I have a screw up here. But if this was the next loop facing upwards, you take one from the front, the new one from the front, and you take the old one from behind. You can see that one. So there you go, Karl. Again, one new one from the front and one old one from behind. Is that what you call cock and ass? Not quite.
You have to go for the ass even if you're from behind.
Yep. It's almost like you're going under the X. But anyway, that's his connection. So yes, Russian 2 + 1 + 1 with the plated edge. So you got the working yarn is going over when you do your stitch anyway. The working yarn working yarn goes.
You are the new one.
Or sorry, the needle goes over the working yarn, and then you get that one. And then for those of you who are new to needle binding, I can show one other little fun thing because it's the perfect example for it. I thought I had a sample here.
Oh, one thing we keep forgetting.
Yeah.
Do you want to wear the ice cream today? Or
Yeah,
we
we
just
should
keep
do
it in
the. Maybe
freezer till
now
next
we
time?
can do the weird ice cream today. We found another. Why don't you go get that so it's some time to thaw? Okay. So this was a sample of the first one. I was trying to because he wrote it in a different way, and I was trying to figure out what he did, what he was referring to when he did it. But anyway, so this is the wrong stitch, but another sample, and I made a little tube. But you can see it's cut on the side here, and it's not shredding. You can just pick out the end stitches, and it just finishes off a row. It won't go any further than that. It's just knots. So you could always make a scarf this way. Pick out the cut loops, and then eventually you find one that belongs to the whole row. So this is why you can make an Afghan as a big tube. Make it a little bit bigger, maybe 4 loops bigger than you need, wider than you want anyway, and then you can just cut it. See, I can't really see what I'm doing there. There we go.
Stop screaming.
No, she can scream all she wants. Annetta's dogs are getting excited. There. There you go. So you can see each row here. But yeah, so you could actually even try to finish off tighter. I know I tried to pull them tight, which doesn't work too well with this stitch. Or you could sew it down here to keep that flat edge and then just make a casing to go around it if you wanted to. But it doesn't come undone. So here was my sample of a stitch that wasn't quite the same. I can just cut it. But it won't unravel beyond this. You'd have to pick it out. So you could even sew the ends under just as nicely as you wanted to, but to be honest, when I do my hoods and I cut it, I make them in the round and then I cut them to keep so that the stitch stays the same all the way around. If I go back and forth, it changes the look of the stitch. But I actually chose it better on this one. There's more rows. But I usually just stitch here and then I make a chain of Oslo and sew it to this side. And another chain of Oslo and sew it to that side. I don't even cut those things off. I just leave it on there so then it looks kind of like that with the casing around it. But anyway, it was an excellent opportunity to show you how you can cut it and it won't unravel, at least not beyond that. And you can tighten these up nicer if you wanted to. Ta-da! Okay, and then all of this goes in my jar, which will later become thread. Okay. Let's see. Karl really thinks Putin could make it through the crazy fence. I'll have to ask him. He went outside again. Okay, and then the stitch of the month, and then we can look at the Sally's book. Sally Pointer. Oh, maybe this will be good with the ice cream. Let's see, I have to move this out of the way. And I don't have any Vaseline Torbjorn, but here, Lipsil, that's been in my pocket so long you can't even tell that it's Lipsil anymore. Chapstick. Something for him to look at. So the stitch of the month is actually a combination of Oslo and Korgen. Korgen is like mom and just F1. Let's see, I pulled my stitch too tight. When I took the needle out, there we go. So it's my end loop. Okay. So, and I'm doing them F1 instead of F2, both. Now, if you look on the back of the work, it says 1, 2, and 3 loops. 1, 2, and there's a third one. Before you get this little cross loop there. So if I have 1, 2, 3 loops, that means I'm going to be doing Oslo next. So the old one and then turn, that's Oslo stitch. Oh. The yarn gets caught on the gimbal. Okay. Now, if you look at the back of your thumb, you've got 1 loop, 2 loops, And then you get that cross stitch there, that cross loop there. So now you're going to do Oslo, or Korgen, which is 2 loops behind. So F1, 2 loops behind, and then forward underneath both. And that's it. And so you're alternating that back and forth. Now the next one will be, they're both F1. The next one will be, see, 1, 2, 3. So the next one will be Oslo. Just 1 loop is going to get used. So 1 loop and then forward. And then now if I kind of pull them up loose, there's only 2 loops before that cross, so that means both loops are going to get used. So Korgen, 2 loops and then forward. So that's all you're doing back and forth is you're just alternating them. But if you know that little trick with how many loops you have in the back, see there's 3 loops, so we're only going to use 1. If you know that little trick anyway about how many loops are in the back, then if you're not really paying attention to what you're doing, and you can't remember, was it supposed to be Oslo or Korgen? Only 2 loops before then, so it'll be Korgen. Then it'll be easier to, you can even write it down in front of you. If there's 3 loops before that break, then it's Oslo. If it's 2 loops before that break, then it's Korgen. Then you can do. But because I'm making a cowl, I also have to, I'm increasing every 10th now, I think I'm up to. So I have to check. Here I went 2 in the same, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I increased there as well. There's 2 in 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So when I get to number 10, then I have to do twice. If I can get this to lay flat, this will be a cowl. So in order to do the cowl, I did the neck part. Whoops, there we go. If I can flip this up a little bit. There we go. Maybe it'd be better to see it this way. It's like a headband at first. You want to make sure it goes comfortably over your head after 3 rows. So make it about 2 finger widths wider than your head. And then when it naturally shrinks, it should fit still quite well over your head. But anyway, so about to there, from here to here, I did without increasing. It's like a headband. And then when I get to where I want that, now my collar is kind of as high as I want it to be. So then I want to start expanding. I think I increased about every 6th stitch. And then you can kind of see there if I have it. It's a little flimsy, this one, because it's a very, it's got a lot of drape to it, this stitch combo. So then the next row I did every 7th. And then you check, is it laying flat like this? If it's growing flat, it's fine. If it's starting to do this, maybe you don't want to increase that frequently. Maybe you want to increase maybe every 10th or something in the beginning just to see. If it's going like this kind of upwards, or coning, then you want to increase a little bit more often. But for me, somehow every 6th stitch worked for the first row, then every 7th for the next row, every 8th, 9th, and now I'm increasing every 10th, and it's still not waving. If it starts to wave, then I'll have to skip. So if it was starting to wave this row, maybe I'd go every 13th or something. And you do this until you get to the tips of your shoulders. Then you can increase a lot less or not at all if you want to, because that'll make it go straight down again. And then it'll be a cowl. But the trick is to kind of get it to go like a plate. If it doesn't go flat out, it will kind of like push up toward, the whole thing will kind of push up towards your neck a bit. But you can just check every row and see how it's going and adjust as needed. There is a pattern for this on my Instagram. It's just like way at the bottom of the feed. And I'm sorry, but I have not been able to post new things to my Instagram because it doesn't like the phone and I haven't been bothered to figure it out. But I think I'm in the days of YouTube anyway, so one of these days. So I guess when I get to about here, it'll probably be the end of my shoulders. I'm a pretty big girl. But I have a lot of yarn to go on, and I'll just keep going until I don't want to. I could then build on in the opposite direction and make it into a hood, but this is such a drapey fabric, I don't think I'd like it as a hood. I like my hoods to be a little stiffer. But anyway, and that yarn is from my mom. It's probably some other, probably something vintage by now. But again, Italian, Lanes du Nord, or what is it, Wool of the North anyway, and it's stripes. I didn't realize it was striping when I saw the skeins. I don't have a loose one there to see, but apparently there's stripes in that. And this one, for gauge purposes, because I'm using a thinner yarn so that the holes you can see there's a hole pattern in there. I want the holes to show. So I'm using a thinner yarn. If I used a thicker yarn, you wouldn't see that so much, but you would get this nice little weave look. Anyway, so the yarn I'm using for gauge-wise is, sorry, dying. I got a piece of chocolate in the back of my throat. 4.5 size, four and a half size needles in millimeter, or US 6/7. Would give you, let's see if I can, won't focus, would give you 10 centimeters or, yeah, 23, anyway, but you can kind of see the gauge there. That was the yarn I used. Oh my God, I gotta drink something. Okay.
You want me to get you something to drink?
Yes, I want you to get me something to drink.
What do you want, woman?
Water, man. Okay.
Water, man?
I want water. You're calling me woman, I'm calling you man. Okay. Karl really likes Putin could make it through the crazy what is it? Karl really thinks Putin could make it through the crazy Finns. You didn't respond to that, Karl.
Of course he couldn't.
He says, huh, of course he couldn't. Okay. So, I'll put that out of the way. And then Sally's book arrived. So, Sally was here. Sally Pointer, if you don't know her, look her up on YouTube. She does a lot with nettles, stinging nettles, and plant fiber crafts, as well as needle binding, too. Putin, more like Punin, says Max. Oh, Punani, sorry, I can do this. So, her book is called Nalbinding, Heritage Techniques for the Contemporary Textile Crafter. And I believe it also says Nalbinding. It's not knitting. That's kind of a fun play on words, though. Because it's not knitting. It's knots. Get it? You're horrible. Okay, here she's working with plant fiber. Oh, thank you for the water. Let's see. Oh, that felt better. But now I don't want to get water on my book. We'll just wipe that with the sleeve because we're high class here. Okay. So the ancient skill of Nalbinding is frequently mistaken for knitting or crochet, but after working through the 20 projects in this book, you will know just how different and versatile it is. So try out something new, something old, by picking up stitches from across the millennia. Learn traditional Nalbinding stitches from prehistory through ancient Egypt to Viking Age York and 19th century Scandinavia. She's really good with the history, too. Use a single needle and various looping and knotting techniques to create netting and textiles. Make useful everyday items, such as drawstring bags. That's the pouches that I like to make. Those are fun. Festival socks and scarves. Whether you are a keen knitter or a novice, a reenactor, or a heritage enthusiast, there's just so much to learn. And if you need the ISBN number, it's there. Her book runs about, let's see if I can get it to focus there, about 30 pounds, I think is what it is. At least that's what her publisher told me. They retail for 30 pounds. But we were happy to have her bring them because then we got to skip the shipping. But look at the different kind of socks she has on here too. So this is one where she's doing with plant fiber. That was done in a class that I took with her. Okay, so we'll flip through her book a little bit. See if I can do this without shaking the camera everywhere. She's even does some embroidery on the edge there, which I think is wonderful. These ones are the Tybrin Vig ones. We actually got to hold this in the class. The one on the left, I believe. But this is looping around a cord or Tybrin Vig stitch that Nikki was asking about earlier. It was quite fun. She shows you how to do that with a, I don't know if she does in the book, I'll have to check. Because when you're working with a plant fiber, you're not splicing on new cord, but you are making new cord as you go, which is why you can see here, it's kind of, this is the working end. And she has only this much of the cord made, and then she has to start twisting some more cord as she goes. Obviously, she's got some, we can just kind of skip ahead to her tutorials. Let's see. I think it was kind of nice to see how she did stuff. Does she start the same way I do, for example, or does she show more than one way? Here we go. I think this is, might have been too far forward. York stitch, she shows that. She shows you how to work it flat, by the way, not on your thumb, if you wanted to do that. And by the way, and she also includes the find and a history about it, which is nice. There she shows how, sorry, there, we're going to turn the thing. A round starch in the earth. She starts her round start a little bit differently than me, but it's kind of nice to see different ways to do things and what works. And it's a clever way of working, I think, when I saw her do this. So she doesn't have as much knot as me. Sock toppers. These is what I would call boot cuffs. Those are quite handy if you don't want to make the whole sock. Let's see. I was going to see if she had another way. Thumb tension stitches. Okay, so I'm skipping over. And then she shows the Oslo mitten, which is worked in either Oslo or Mammen stitch, it says. And she's got information about that. And then she shows you how she makes them off the thumb and defines the under-over thing for those who need to know that. But then you can see how she starts. It's a different way of starting than I do, but it's quite cool. I'm not going to go too far into that because buy the book. It's a very good book, though. Okay. So here you can see the sections that she does. In part 1, she covers the background and the basics, getting started, your needles, your project, what you're making your own Nalbinding needle, which I think is amazing because a lot of people ask that. The yarn you can use, basic skills, yarn management, joining a new yarn, threading and holding the needle, tensioning the yarn, understanding patterns. So working flat is something people ask a lot about, connecting stitches, shaping your work, finishing, left-handed working, planning a project, and how to use this book. So some people might get a little frustrated if they're a beginner, if they don't get it quite at first, because you're kind of got to see where you're going to jump in at anyway. But if you go straight to the section you need to learn anyway, don't get overwhelmed by the information in the beginning. Because if you kind of want to learn how to fly first before, and then you can learn the rest. Let's see. Part 2, needle tension stitches. So if you want to tension to the needle, different projects there, shopping basket, phone case, dice bag. Well, you can get them, and I linked her in this one anyway, Sally Pointed Heritage Craft, and I will also point out that this is put out by Bloomsbury. Oops. Yeah. There, I think we can see it. To find out more information about our authors and books, visit bloomsbury.com. But it's Bloomsbury Publisher, which means just about everybody. Everybody in Norway can get it through their regular bookstores or ours, but we're not online anymore. But if our publisher can get it through Bloomsbury, or our supplier can get it through Bloomsbury Publisher, then you can get it as well. Anyway, but it isn't the cheapest book, but this thing is pretty thick. It's not a brochure. Those who know. Okay, part 3, thumb tension stitches. So this is what I mostly do when I'm showing. Part 4, socks, technical information references. So you can make this you can go quite a ways with this. It's not just for beginners, but you can start. But I love that she's including plant fiber as well as wool and things. Animal and plant fiber. Sorry, we'll turn that there. There you have Sally, looking very pretty. She is an archaeologist, by the way. I think that's important to mention. A lot of work she does takes place at Stonehenge. She's very good at with Neolithic as well. But you can see she's showing you the braided edge in here too. Here's the plant fiber ones. And these are the little needles that we made in her class when I was there a year ago with a piece of antler. But you can see there's some that are made in bone. Background and basics. I like that she shows a lot of decorating possibility too. What exactly is Nalbinding and what do we need and how do we get started? Getting a sense of materials needed and the ways in which a project might be handled, and finished puts us in a good place to start learning stitches in later chapters. Yeah, so she kind of goes backwards before she goes forwards if you're wondering, if you're brand new anyway. So flip to the section that you need and then go back and get more inspiration if you need. There she's got the Coptic socks, or the Egyptian socks, yeah, sorry. iPad and dice bags. Dice bags are one of my favorite things to make if you would just want to try a stitch. And then she goes into finds. I like that she's including ceremonial garments from Africa. I believe that's from Africa. Billum bags she's included because that is related to Nalbinding.
Papua New Guinea. How to make needles. Braiding. This is a very nice way of braiding, by the way. If you want to do that, how to splice. Different kinds of joins. Find the one that works for you. If you're not big into using split, there's several, there's a bunch of methods to use. How to thread your needle. That was the one I just passed. Understanding patterns, which is good to know. Felting, which is nice. This is sometimes my stitches look. This is one of my favorite tips. If you're doing it and you think it looks wrong because it doesn't look like a chain, sometimes you just have to stretch it into place. And then all these loose loops lock together and you realize you were not doing it wrong at all. Here, this is probably a good part too. How to use this book. Be intuitive. This may sound like an odd thing to write in a how-to book, but because of the great advantages of Nalbinding is that it lends itself to working beyond a pattern. Because stitches will vary in size according to your tension, needle size, and yarn type, it is very hard to write precise patterns for Nalbinding projects. In many cases, you can add shaping as you see fit, switch between suitable stitches and design as you work as you go. That's actually a very important paragraph. As you saw, I made a cowl. And I was telling you I was increasing it every 6th in the beginning, but depending on your stitch, it might be very different based on that. Karl's just dying here of boredom. Too flippin' bad. Simple looping. And how to make the plant fiber thread. How to do loop and twist. Somebody was looking at Ingela's work on Facebook, and she was using loop and twist. That's in here. See, we're flipping quickly now, because I don't want to give away all the secrets. Tybrand Vig, there you go, Nikki. Dice bag, phone case, you got patterns. Cross knit looping, which a lot of people think looks like knitting, but it's not. Different methods of socks. The two-tone sock, there's a whole pattern for that. This type of heel is another type of heel. Oh, I did comment on that. The cat is wearing socks. Peruta put up a link for where you can find the book. But yeah, it's Bloomsbury Publisher, which is a fairly big publisher, so you should be able to find it just about anywhere. Then there's York socks, boot cuffs, thumb tensioning. Now we're flipping very quickly here. Oh yeah, and she does how to change color. And she does spirals in there. Let's see, almost done, Karl, and then we'll have the ice cream. Yeah, he's looking at it melting. She has a difference. Yeah, there's more. There's a couple different spiral starts. I know. This is. I thought it was fun that she went with the same one that I usually use, my preferred one. Water bottle cover, mittens, fringes for those who want to know how to do fringes. She goes through the whole thing. How to do mom and stitch so you can grow your stitches if you want. You can learn more than one, obviously. Dalby, so she's moving into the Russian stitches. And some fines. Let's see. We're going to get to my favorite part of the book soon because, what can I say? I'm biased. So I told Sally, when Sally's book, I said, oh, I've been waiting for your book to get here so that I could buy it anyway. And then she says, oh, you're mentioned in the book. And I said, what? She says, yeah, I mentioned you in the book. I did not know that. I went to her class a year ago, and she told me when she was there, she says, oh, I'm super excited. I get to tell you that my book is coming out next week or something. So her book was it first kind of popped out there, or shortly after, or it was getting published. That was it anyway. But what I didn't know is she says, no, I've mentioned you. So here we go. Resources at the very end of the book. She says there are many internet sources that, and these can change with time, but at the time of writing, there are a few recommended sites for those wanting to explore more. These websites represent useful information, in some cases, video tutorials and stitches. So she mentions the playlist on her YouTube channel there. She mentions the Facebook groups Nalbinding. She does Ann Decker's blog, nalbound.com. Sana Marie, the Nulakantat, or the Nalbinding Bible. And look at that! Isn't that nice? Karin Bierm is an experienced Nalbinder who hosts a Stitch of the Month as well as occasional craft-along projects. Her account is useful if you'd like to explore other stitches and gain ideas for future projects. Let's see.
And if you want to see a bored Norwegian drink beer.
And we're done now. She loves me. That was so nice. I didn't know she did that anyway. I thought, oh. See, I knew I was good for something. Anyway, it's a really good book because my name's in it. No, but it is really, really helpful. But I see that there are some people that might not think it's user-friendly, but you might need to jump to the section that works for you first and then go back. You almost got water on my book.
Yeah, no, it's...
Don't get water on my book. I should have had her sign it. I don't know why I didn't
Most
think
of
of
us know this. But when you buy an instructional book, you don't have to read it cover to cover.
No, you go
You
to
find the part that is relevant to you.
Yeah.
So,
So you go to the part that's relevant. Flip through the whole thing
Yeah.
and find the part that you need to start at and then go. Yeah.
when I want to know a certain thing, so I have lots of books of all sorts in my, this bookshelf is basically just role-playing books. But yeah, that's actually kind of a good example, because if I need to know something, I don't need to read these books cover to cover. I need to find a section that is relevant for the thing I want to know.
Albert says, sigh, I will try hunting it down. We do have it in the store, actually. We have about 4 more copies in the store that she left with us. But our publisher our supplier can get it from their publisher, so it is on our order list. I think he had 8 in stock that he'll send, and he'll send us some more when they come in. So anyway. Max got his from the local library. It's ordered there. Torben says, after playing Far Cry Primal, I love the Neolithic era. We'll dance and pay money for a new dice bag. I can make you a dice bag. There's a pattern. No. Okay, but Karl brought out some ice cream. He's a little worried about it melting and
I actually
explain this ice cream, because what in the hell is this?
do not think this ice cream is any good.
No, I think this is going to be crap.
I think
What
it is
the hell's
going
going
to be
on here,
straight up
Karl?
horrible.
So, go ahead, explain.
Well,
Sorry,
I
there
have
we go.
mentioned this before. Every Christmas I talk about Christmas beer, and I occasionally also mention that the Norwegian breweries also make a Christmas soda, julebrus. And the julebrus is usually a fruity...
Translates to Christmas soda.
It's usually a fruity soda that people have really fierce loyalty to because they grew up with it.
Like Torben?
Yeah, Torben would probably be going for the Larum Christmas soda because Larum is the closest thing to him that makes the fucking thing.
I think this is going to need chocolate sauce.
For me, from Selje, it would be Hansa.
Yeah.
And up north, it would be Tau or whatever.
But this is Sørland's Is, or Sørland's Ice Cream by Henning Olsen. They're not actually claiming any specific Julebrus company.
No. But
Albert, where in the hell did you find that? That's what I was thinking, Albert. Because
this is weird. This is a concept that I have very little faith in.
it's supposed to be a sweet raspberry something flavored soda ice cream. I don't get it.
Because a julebrus is a fruity soda that tastes a little bit more fruity than usual. That's basically what it is.
This is also a point to notice. Norsk flørtis fra Sørlandet med vaniljesmak med rød og brun julebrussaus. So it's an ice cream from Sørlandet. But the vanilla flavored, but they're
Southern
using
part of Norway, yeah.
yeah, with the red or brown, because the julebrus, the Christmas soda, comes in a red flavor and a brown flavor. The brown flavor is what, like cola? Or vanilla? No, it's like champagne brews.
I would call it cola, I think, but it has very little to do with Coca-Cola.
Yeah, and then the red one is like raspberry, but look at this! So, no, I don't know, but Sørland was doing a thing where they were making experimental ice cream, I think a new one every month,
Yeah.
and I think nobody bought this shit and it was still in the store.
The thing with Sørlands is, the producers of this particular ice cream, is that they have so many flavors. So some of them are bound to be a little bit odd. And I would say this goes in the category of a little bit odd.
This goes in the category a little bit odd. So I agree with Albert. Where in the hell did you find that? Yeah. No, I think it's just nobody bought it because they tried one and they're like, holy crap. Or
We
it looked
found
too...
it at Joker Gudvangen, so
Because
you can probably find it pretty
I
much
think they
anywhere.
had another one in there. But the fact that it's still here in April and it's from Christmas means nobody probably liked it or the idea of it. But the banana split one was also one. Looks alien, says Nolvia. Max says, I tried peppermint bark ice cream. It was like crack. And then Torben says, Tau julebrus for the better good. Okay, but anyway, you want to explain that?
Oh, he is referring to the Tau as the 140,000.
The ones with the fun hair. I'll get some
The ones
chocolate
that
sauce.
look like fish people that are always talking about the greater good.
Yeah.
The Kroot are mercenaries of the Tau. But when I said Tau, I mean I believe it's in Trøndelag. It's their local brewery type of thing. Obviously, because it's human food, this thing appears suddenly. So I have to distract her a little bit.
Get down, Carla. This is going to need chocolate sauce. That's going to be sweet as hell. But anyway, dish it up, Carl, and give it a taste.
Yeah, and I'm not at all optimistic about this.
Oh, we are a massive...
But,
no, we're not too late on our
I'm
time.
pretty much an omnivore, so I will
Looks
eat.
lovely, says Robert.
I'll eat practically anything.
It's going to be
And
chocolate sauce.
picky person here is that one, because among other things, she flatly refuses to eat any red things.
I don't particularly like
I
julebrus.
see red parts there.
Yeah, but it's that's artificial. There's no way that came from a berry. That was invented in a lab.
Yep, let's go with that one.
That's it. Carl's cutting into it. It can only go downhill from here.
You've been needle bending for so long that it is actually kind of fluffy now.
Yeah, well, I kind of figured it would, but and we had a lot to go over, but we needed to see that book because we've been talking about it for, oh, God, a couple of months at least anyway. We finally need to get to... Are you not going to make me some?
Oh.
Thank
can
you.
have this one.
It's going to need chocolate sauce.
Shouldn't you taste it first? And
I'm pretty sure with that amount of soda. PJ says, I want some. I don't know about that, PJ. You might want... Are you sure? It's like... I mean, what is this? It would be like Coca-Cola. I guess it could be like a Coke float.
Now, Karin was pointing at it in the shop, and she goes, "Are you interested in this?" And I go, YouTube maybe?
Yep, that's the only way we're going to eat this
It's
crap.
more weird than good. So, well, who knows? It might be good. I might be surprised.
Whoop, there we go. No, I'm just thinking if it's going to be sweet, you're going to have to kick it back with some...
I'll try
Okay,
it
you're gonna
first,
try it first? Okay.
Without the chocolate sauce.
And does this work with Belgian beer?
Well, of course it doesn't. That's why I've already drank all my Belgian beer, woman.
I just ordered the book, says PJ. Well, I think you're gonna like it. It's really good, actually. It was very thorough too. But yeah, I've seen some people that might think it's not beginner friendly, and people that absolutely just love it. But I suspect though, because there's so many new people into needle binding lately, like I said, Kaylee had a reel go viral and it hit well over 10,000 by now views, and it just it brought a whole bunch of people to needle binding that are very fresh at it. And if you kind of try to want to read it from cover to cover and work it from cover to cover, that might be confusing. You need to jump to the part that you need.
Guess
and then,
who just tried stealing it?
Oh yeah, no, you're busted. You know, if they're not jumping on you, they're stealing your food, huh, Carl?
I've said it before and I can say it again. If I told her that enriched plutonium was human food, she would eat it.
What'd you think of this?
It was surprisingly good.
It's
Actually, I like it.
tastes like candy.
Like it.
Holy crap, we're totally gonna have that tree on our heads. It's just, look at it. It's just kind of woof, woof, woof. I tried to show it, but it wouldn't.
Either we get a tree from that direction or we get a stone from that direction. Given those choices, I prefer the tree.
Well, luckily we're sleeping on the far side of the house, so it would probably hit. Okay, anyway.
I don't think the tree has enough mass to actually destroy the house, but it could fuck it up spectacularly.
It could fuck it up. Yeah, it'd break the roof, I think, but not destroy it completely. This is like Starbursts. Imagine eating Starburst or chewing on a Starburst while eating your ice cream. Ah, you went for the chocolate. I knew you would. You need the chocolate to kick it back. It's too sweet.
Do you think it gets less sweet when I put concentrated sugar on it?
It's not going to be red sweet, but that cat is totally feed me mortal, says Torben. You're not wrong. Oh, PJ said it was on special offer on Amazon for £20 and 25 pence. Would that be? Yeah, but 20.25 on. That's a good deal, because the publisher was the one that said it retails at £30. So if it's on special offer, then I would say jump and get it now. Because the other thing is, with shipping and everything into Norway, my guess is it's going to be more than £30 in Norway. I do like that our supplier can get it, though. Because if I had to buy it directly from her, not directly from her, but directly from the publisher, and bring it over, I would not be able to buy the quantity that our supplier can buy. He can order in tons and then distribute around Norway. So he gets a better price. Okay, it's growing on me. It depends if you get the one that kind of tastes like the champagne. What is it called? Villa, the vanilla soda or champagne
it's
soda.
It's kind of like root beer. And it's good. It's not bad.
Well, if you were making, we were making root beer floats, but we didn't have root beer in Norway. So we tried the champagne soda, it's called. But anyway, it's like a vanilla soda. And that was actually okay. And then we were trying it with the orange soda, and that was good. But there's no orange in here. But it's kind of like that with the Jula Bruce, the red one.
I've tried both Norwegian champagne brews and American root beer for floats. And I would say they taste very similar. It's practically the same thing. The taste is more concentrated in root beer, but it's the same taste, I think.
PJ says ice cream is best kept simple, either vanilla or fruit or chocolate. I was with you until you said fruit. Vanilla or chocolate would be fine with me. I like pistachio. That one's good. Cookie dough ice cream was a great invention. Jerry Garcia, or what is it? No, not Jerry Garcia. Was it the Ben and Jerry's? Yeah, They have an ice cream called Sherry Garcia. But anyway, Ben and Jerry's makes a really good cookie dough ice cream.
I liked the banana thing. Yeah,
that was nasty.
No, I mixed it with...
Oh, did you? Oh, after this, vanilla and fruit is puking over there. So after YouTube, Karl keeps thinking, I would ask him, because we had a little bit of the banana split left. And I'm like, do you want some ice cream? And he's like, no, it's a little too late in the evening to be drinking rum. I'm like, I asked if you wanted rum. No, but, I kind of wonder what it would take with rum or something. And I'm like, and then after about the third time or something, like, you just really want the excuse to put rum on it. He's like, I do. and how did that work out for you, by the way, Karl? Who passed out not long after?
No, it was a 3-color ice cream. So it has chocolate, vanilla, and the banana thing.
Which tastes like those banana candies.
Yeah, and the banana thing worked excellently with rum. The vanilla thing was like, yeah, okay with rum. And the chocolate thing got markedly worse with rum.
Mortal.
But, yeah, no, will you stop it?
If you can see her there. She just doesn't care. My cats wouldn't even get that close, but she, on the other hand, right into it.
Your cats are completely uninterested, even when I eat something that I love.
Max says, I've heard of the melon flavor. Apparently it seemed to be a very popular flavor in Japan. And Pruda, who actually lived in Japan for a while, said, Max, I can confirm melon flavor is super popular in Japan. There's a new ice cream that everybody keeps telling me I gotta try down at Yoker, and it's like an ice cream bar. It was some Japanese or maybe it's Chinese or Korean, or I have no idea what it is writing on it, but I think that's a melon one.
I'm not convinced that you're going to like this at all, but hey, have a taste.
Ice cream all over you.
Oh, you love it. Of course you do, because it's human food.
It's a good thing you're the one that has to clean up her poop.
Stop it.
You gave her a taste, now you're screwed. You got more ice cream on you. He says, Torben says, Carla says, why are you eating my ice cream, slave? But see, this means you're a pushover. Do you see her trying to eat out of my bowl? No, she wants your bowl. Why?
Because I launch her gently, if I launch her at all.
You don't launch her. He only did that for YouTube. He never launches the cat. But she knows she can get away with it. She knows it. But she doesn't try to steal mine, not until in the... I think if the cat is allowed to lick the bowl, it should be on the floor.
It's kind of funny because normally when we get home, all the cats say hello to both of us. And then Silly goes to her, and Carla and Fussy goes to me.
Yep.
But Carla occasionally goes to her, but Fussy never goes to her, and Silly never or almost never go to me.
Oh, the red is just too much. Sorry, to put more chocolate on the red to kill it. Nolvia says, that cat is boldly rude. Yep. She's just pretty to look at, but that's about where it stops.
No, she grew up with my father, and my father would actually take things she liked and put it to one side of his plate so that she could kind of eat off his plate.
Off his plate, yeah.
And obviously she likes the things that he doesn't push over. So she will occasionally steal potatoes and other things that he had planned to eat himself. And then you have a little bit of an argument between the two of them. But...
No, but she would sit on the table and eat right off of his plate. It is side by side, but you know, I mean, I guess when you live by yourself, you're happy for the company. Even if it's stealing all of his food. Amaro says, Tasha's is taste. Oh, a little further up. We can find a lot of ice cream tastes here. I once ate lavender ice cream. That would be very perfumey, I would think. Nolvia says, ew. Yeah, lavender would be lavender, yeah.
That sounds silly. Carla, stop it. You're being a dick.
Doesn't care. Notice my bowl is just fine over here.
This is her preferred way of stealing. She puts her paw into my food, and then she takes it back and licks it.
This is why Karl is so skinny. It's not like I don't feed him. Pruda says, could Karl tell the cat smuggling story again, please? She did nag nicely, and Karl is just eating your food. You might as well throw her under the bus now.
But it's not actually cat smuggling, it's reverse cat smuggling. My father used to have a Siamese cat that he had for a long time called Kristall. And when Kristall died, he wanted a new one. And I said, okay, unlike him, I know how the internet works, so I can find you a cat. It shouldn't be a problem. But then it turns out, when I start looking, that there is no cats available in Norway, Sweden, and Denmark.
No, you can have it.
So I start looking at England, and I find some cats available there, but it is very, very difficult to take anything alive out of England.
Back freezer.
They are very concerned about the movement of organic things. So in the end, I find one in Switzerland. So I get in touch with the breeder, and I say, okay, I'm interested in buying one of the Siamese cats you have that is born just now. He says, yeah, no, in 6 weeks the cat is old enough to travel, so then you can come and pick her up. So I have to arrange some days off in the middle of the summer in 2019 to go to Switzerland and pick up this cat. And she's just a kitten at this time. So after an unholy amount of arguing, I managed to get it. So, okay, you have 5 days in the middle of the summer, because we didn't have as many people in Guas back then as we do now. So I called the breeder again and says, okay, I'm coming on this day, and I will be staying there for about 4 days, and then I can go home with the cat. And it's a very expensive cat, because it's a thoroughbred Siamese cat. So the actual buying price was 1,500 euros. So a little bit more than 15,000 kroner at the time. So I say, yep, okay, that's fine. And then I go down there and talk to the guy, and the guy is he's a very eccentric little Swiss guy. He is he has what I would call extremely incompatible hobbies. He collects veteran cars. That's fine, and that's not incompatible with the other things, but the other things are extremely incompatible with each other. Because he also breeds cats, exotic birds, and he collects Persian rugs. These 3 things you shouldn't be doing at once in the same house. It causes a lot of unnecessary stress. And he is also super fascinated with everything that is small. So he's...
Small
Yeah,
or tiny?
tiny. He's showing me around in Switzerland, and we are going from place to place, and he is basically going, hey, look at this thing. This is the smallest village, the smallest wooden bridge in the village. Look at it. It is so tiny. It's so tiny. And Switzerland has kind of a unique form of government where everything is up to the canton. So that's basically like, it's not a commune either, by Norwegian standards.
County, yeah.
County is enormous compared to a Swiss canton. A Swiss canton, you can basically hold your breath and walk across it. It's that small. So he goes, oh, and in this canton, there only lives 94 people, and all of them are in working age, so there are no kids, no old people. So they pay no local tax at all. They are very rich, and look at their church. It's so tiny. It's so tiny. And their church could maybe, on a good day, seat like 4 people if you lubricate them with Vaseline. And
Dorban.
he, one day when we were out and kind of looking at things in Switzerland, and we come back home, there had been what the Swiss would call extreme weather, which means I would barely register it as windy. But it was enough that he has some palm trees in these big earthenware pots. And it was enough wind for some of them to blow over. And that scared one of his cats into labor. So when we come home, he has like a litter of newborn kittens. And he's so fascinated. So he has his hands full of little Siamese kittens and going, look at them! They're so tiny! They're so tiny! So he's really fascinated by small things. But one thing he wanted to do to kind of help me out is that normally when you take something expensive into Norway, you have to pay tax for the value of the thing. And for the purpose of this, the cat is a thing. And if I pay 15,000 Norwegian kroner for a cat, I have to pay tax to bring the cat back into Norway. So what he said he was going to do, and I was kind of with him on the idea, was that, okay, they won't know how expensive it is if I send you the pedigree and all of this in the mail, and then you just bring the cat on the plane and tell them, yeah, no, I just bought it, it cost 50 euros, no problem. Which is possible. You can buy a Siamese cat for 50 euros if it is not thoroughbred and you don't have the pedigree and all this. But when I get to the airport, I get okay, since the year 2000, the only criminal thing I've done is to steal one wheelbarrow of gravel. It occurs to me now that that is not entirely true, because some of the things I did in Sogndal definitely would break the limit of criminal. The cannon project, the trebuchet, and possibly the ballista. I'm not sure.
Maybe the window that.
No, that was in 97, so that's before.
Oh,
no,
okay,
91,
okay,
so that's
okay.
before 2000.
Oh, okay, sorry.
But I decided that if I'm going to be caught in a crime, it shouldn't be fucking cat smuggling. So when I get to the gates where I can choose to go on green, nothing to declare, or go on red, I have something to declare, I go on red and I just hold up the cat and I go, hey, I want to pay tax for this thing. And he goes, okay, what is it? It's a Siamese cat. I bought it in Switzerland. It cost 1,500 euros. How much tax do I owe? And he goes, do you have a receipt? And I go, no. But do you think I'm lying to you? This is a 1,500 euro cat. And he goes, yeah, okay. Calculator and dicking around a little bit. Yes, you owe us about 6,000 kroner. So I pay him 6,000 kroner. So this cat is not smuggled into Norway. It's a completely illegal Norwegian citizen cat.
So reverse cat smuggling.
And also, I have 2 flights. I am flying from Switzerland to Bergen, to Oslo, and then from Oslo to Bergen. And the cat was calm as a cucumber from Switzerland to Oslo. But as soon as I get off the plane in Oslo at Gardermoen, and I walk to the next gate, the cat starts going, meow.
How'd that go again?
Meow.
So anything like we hear every single week now with her?
And she kept doing that from Oslo to Bergen. And then all the time from Bergen until I get to the hotel, and I was thinking, oh fuck, I forgot to check if the hotel accepts pets. And I go, okay, I need the room, and I also have this thing. Can I please have a room and put this thing in my room? And I go, yeah, okay, it's no problem. Do you need water or something for that thing? And they go, yes, that would be nice, thank you. And then me and the cat spend the night in Bergen. Then my father comes and picks up the cat and takes her back to Selja on the express boat. And I go back to Gudvangen to get back to work. And at this time I have like 16 lost calls and about 100 messages on staff chat with, where are you? From Gudvangen.
Please come back and make the day plans because the person that stepped in is not doing it right. By the way, Maggie says, I adore that a cat is the line over which you will not commit a crime. Cats would totally make the other choice. Torben says, yeah, you probably broke some laws in Sogndal. I remember once you took a tray of iced coffee at Remy and forgot to pay for them.
Yeah, but...
there's a story.
Yes, but I paid for them later. There was one thing I didn't pay for at the shop on purpose. And that's... I had a tray of iced coffee, and I had some other wares. They charged me for the other wares. I take the tray of iced coffee, and I go back and stand in line. And then I pay for the tray of iced coffee. And when I'm walking, and they're actually kind of angry with me because why are you wasting time? Why are you doing this? You could have just gone away with them. And when I walk out the door, I discover that, oh fuck, I have pastries in the bag on my wrist that I completely forgot of was there.
Oh, I've done that on accident, but you just go back, yeah.
So I just decided, okay, they were angry with me for basically wasting time with going back to pay for the iced coffee. So I'm sure as fuck not paying for these pastries. Bye-bye, and then I go and I eat my pastries angrily.
You badass, you. Carl, the cat smuggling, reverse cat smuggling pastry thief.
I have been investigated for attempted murder. Have you know? So
Now you have to tell that story too, by the way. So my mother and the Pengilly ladies are going, I'm sorry, your daughter's dating what? Go ahead, tell that story. I don't think you've ever told that story on YouTube.
I have at least once.
You know, there's like a bowl on the fold of...
Will you please stop?
Why are you investigated for attempted murder, Carl? Were you investigated?
I might or might not have shot through a house back in 93. Okay,
I'm gonna have to get more battery for this conversation.
1993. I'm 18.
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting enough cord there, woman?
I just don't want to run out of battery for this conversation. All right, there you go. Shoot.
And I'm still at videregående. And in Norway you have a thing called Operasjon Dagsverk. It's basically a day a year when all the students are sent to work for a day in local business, and all the salary basically goes to charity. So you're doing 1 day of work and the income goes to charity. And I couldn't find a job. So I'm basically just going, okay, I'm working at home. So I have my father sign the documents and go basically paying my salary. And he has nothing for me to do. So I'm bored out of my skull. And I call a friend of mine. And says, okay, both bored, what should we do? Good, go up on top of the mountain and shoot some guns. Sounds like a plan. Okay, now I'm going through everything we actually did wrong. Neither of us is allowed to drive a moped. It is not legal to drive two people on a moped. People on a moped is supposed to wear a helmet. So we borrow a moped, both of us ride the moped up to the top of the mountain, me on the back with the rifle on my back. This is a hunting rifle built on a war model German Mauser. So it uses 7.62 millimeter NATO. This is a pretty powerful round. I bring with me one box of 20 rounds. And I can tell you for absolutely sure where 19 of those rounds landed. But there is this one round that I don't know exactly where it went, because I didn't see an impact. So we shoot, we have fun, we take our moped back home. And the next morning when I wake up, I'm a little bit confused because I'm listening to the local radio and they're talking about some kind of gun drama going on in Selja, which is where I live. And I go, that's odd. I haven't seen any sign of any kind of shooting incidents in Selja. What the fuck are you talking about? And then I talk about some guy. There had been a lot of loud noises in Selja Centrum, nothing to do with me. And then some guy at Årsheim had two bullet holes in his wall. Well, actually, he had one bullet hole in his outer wall, one in an inner wall, and one in an inner door. And then he had the bullet perfectly preserved, lying on the carpet in his hallway. About 2 meters from his mother, who was doing the dishes in his house at the time. So I'm going, okay, this is really odd. And then I say 7.62 millimeter NATO. This is a round designed by the military for military purposes. And do you think anybody is actually out to get you? Would anybody actually be trying to kill you? And the guy goes, no, I don't think so. I don't really have any enemies. So I go, oh, fuck. And I call the guy I was with. I go and talk to my father and goes, you know, I'm supposed to ask before I borrow the rifle, right? And he goes, yeah. And I go, yeah, no, I kind of borrowed it yesterday at about 6 o'clock, and we went up into the mountains. And he goes, it's dark at 6 o'clock, you idiot. You shouldn't be shooting. And I go, yeah, that's true, but we kind of did. He goes, did you shoot that fucking house? I go, I don't think so. Because we are on top of the mountain, and that house is like 4 kilometers away, so I can't see how we could have done that. And he goes, yeah, but how many other idiots do you think is up in the mountains with 7.62 millimeter NATO? And I go, okay, so do you think I should call the police? And he goes, no, no, no. It's the police's job to investigate. If I find you, be honest. But up until then, shut your mouth. And I go, okay. The problem is that the shooting noises I heard in Selja Centrum was other friends of mine throwing firecrackers out of moving cars. And these idiots know about what we did on top of the mountain. So as soon as they are called in for police interrogations, they go, yeah, no, you probably want to talk to Karl. You definitely want to talk to Karl. Talk to Karl. He's the gun crazy person. And for about 2 days, this was investigated by Kripos. That's the Norwegian Kriminalpolitisentralen. It's basically the Norwegian equivalent of the FBI. It's a federal police organization that has a little bit more resources than your local landsman, which is kind of like sheriff. So in the end, I'm called in for questioning. And I give a statement where I say, okay, we fired, I can account for 19 out of 20 bullets. And we did some stupid things, but nothing I would say is that serious. And he goes, yeah, okay. Did you see a sign that said, careful explosives? And I go, yeah, I saw the sign. Did you shoot the sign? And I go, no. Because there is a building up there that has a sign that says careful explosives. And there's a lot of bullet holes in that sign. But out of all the stupid things I've done up there, shooting at a building full of explosives is not on the list. So that's the... I could truthfully say that I had not shot that sign. My father and the father of the guy I was with sit down and basically play Sherlock Holmes and Mr. Watson. And they come to the conclusion that, okay, if you draw a line through all the 3 holes in his house and you kind of follow that line on the map, it points directly to the point where we are. That is correct on this elevation, but it's wrong on this elevation. Because the landscape is like this. We are on top of the mountain here, shooting. Then you have a lake and some flat area. Then you have a top of a mountain going up. And then it goes down pretty steeply. And then his house is down here. And a 7.62 millimeter NATO goes 6 kilometers if you fire it at 45-degree angle. But to get it to go 4 kilometers, you either have to fire it at a steeper angle or at a lower angle. If we had fired at the lower angle, we would have hit this part of the mountain where it goes back up. And if we had fired it at a steeper angle, it wouldn't have enough room to go through 3 walls. And when you line up the walls, they're not pointing at us, they're pointing at some point on this mountainside. So either we shot through a goddamn mountain, or something really weird is going on. But here is the thing. The bullet was in pristine condition. You could see the striations on the bullet with your eyes. You don't need a microscope or a stereo magnifier. And Kripos, Norwegian FBI, have resources. So they take in the gun to test shoot it. And the gun still has the markings from Kripos. So case number so-and-so on a little note that is hanging from the gun. And they draw the conclusion that the casings certainly is from the gun. Yeah, I know that because I ejected those casings on top of the mountain. And the bullet might be from the gun. So the thing with recognizing striations and go, this is consistent with that and this is consistent with this, you see in the movies, it is not quite as foolproof in reality. Because they couldn't exclude us, but I could also not say conclusively, this is like a fingerprint, it's that gun. So when I am in the police interrogation, I give my statement, and then he prints out my statement and sends it over to me. I read it and I have a few corrections. No, it wasn't like that, it was like this. And then he writes it again and sends it over to me again, and now I sign it. And then he just shoves over another document and says, oh yeah, and sign here too. And then I read the document. And the document says, I, Karl Ordal, hereby declare that I am guilty of the crime of improper usage of weapons and mild damage to property, something like that. And I go, no, I'm not signing that. And he goes, oh, can you please sign it? It goes so much easier through the court system if you do. And I go, I'm sure it does. But these are things that are for your job to prove. It's not something I'm going to confess to because I don't know for sure it was my bullet. And he goes, okay then. And then about 3 weeks later, I get a message in the mail where they says, okay, the case against you is dismissed because of lack of evidence. And also, for some very, very, very reason, they send me the bullet. With all the striations and all of these things. So I go, isn't this supposed to be evidence in the case?
I would think, yeah.
So after conferring with my father, we send it back to them and basically go, nope, it's not my bullet. You still need it. You need to find out whose bullet it is. It's not mine. You can't send it to me.
Yeah.
And I basically got, I didn't get a response from that, but we got the gun back, and my criminal record is pure as snow. I've never been convicted of anything. But I know.
You hear that, Mom? Just okay. Clarifying. Continue.
But I know that the police has been kind of interested in my activities at least 5 times. So 5 times that I know of, and this is one of them.
Jeez, Karl. Okay, we're going long, but that story was totally worth it. I don't think you've ever told that story on YouTube before, actually.
Pretty sure I have.
I think there was maybe once, but that'd be like 21, 22.
I think Greg slipped out something, so I had to tell it like the week after, just to...
Oh, yeah, because the way Greg told it, it sounded like, the way it slipped out, it sounded...
Greg made it kind of sound a little bit worse than it was.
Yeah, it was a little in the flair and the dramatic. Okay, I was gonna say, oh, I went a little bit further here. Can you imagine Traz and the infant saying, "It's so tiny"? He said actually, and he actually forgot to pay. He didn't mean to.
Not the infant.
I want to go with infant. Okay, let's see. Nolvia says, "Step aside, Sisu." Albert says, haha, that would be funny, Peruta, when she said about the infant. No, sorry. Torben says, yeah, that cat would be a rug. But Karl impressed me when he found the local sports store unattended and the ammo storage was left unlocked. He could have stolen enough ammo to make Trump blush, but he didn't.
Yeah, no, it was it was one of the Stranda Mafia guys who was supposed to be working at a sports shop that day. And I really didn't want to get him in trouble either. There is a place up in Sunnmøre called Stranda.
We might be going a little long this time.
In my class at the Teachers Academy, we had like 3 or 4 of those guys that were they had been together since they started in 1st grade. And they were still together at the Teachers Academy. And they were kind of interesting and funny guys.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to get them in trouble, even though I love ammunitions. If you
This
have
is what, like 30 years later? Do they even work there anymore?
I would be very surprised because it was like a part-time job because they were trying to be
Yeah.
teachers. Um,
Did you want to tell more on that, or do you want me to read the next line?
no.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say. Pruda says this does set me giggling. Sometime I'll have to tell you the story about the time I pissed in a minefield. Yep. And then Torben says, "You have to." And then Albert says, "Yeah, some of the things I've done, I can't tell for a bit." ... No.
Now that's kind of a funny thing with being Norwegian. Everything has expiration date.
Yeah.
So even murder, if as long as you manage to keep quiet for 20 years, you're fine.
Really? That's not comforting.
For any normal person, this is insane, but it's kind of like normal in Norway.
I don't know why I ever moved here. No. But actually, we've gone like we're way beyond our 2 hours now, which is already an hour more than we we're supposed to. We're only doing this for an hour. I think it was Nikki who said once, "Yeah, I think that whole hour thing, you might as well just forget that."
Yeah, I know.
No, but we covered a lot of territory today, and then even the bonus territory of being outside and seeing the thing. So far, the tree has not come through the wall, so this wasn't nearly as excited as I thought it could be.
I don't really hear a lot of wind either, but
Nah,
it's the gusts.
It's the
because
gusts that are big.
There are periods of times.
Like now, there's a big gust.
Today, when it was completely dead calm and everything is nice, and then you have a little bit of wind, and then you have a little bit of wind, and then you have a "oh my fucking god, what's happening" type of wind, and then it is completely dead calm again.
Yeah, that's kind of how it was outside there too. Torben says there once was a girl called Jill who pissed in a minefield just for a thrill. They found her vagina in South Carolina and bits of her tits in Brazil. Not for kids! Not for kids! Jesus. Torben, did you just make that up on your own? I think that it's always when we're on the other end of the Duvel. Are you drinking gin today? No, I think we're going to leave on that popular note now. Oh my God, I can't believe we still have 15 people hanging in there too. No, but next time, it'll probably be the same time next week. Yikes, says Nolby. No, anyway, we hope to be able to send from the village again, but it all depends on when we get a ride back. So, but as it becomes more and more people coming in the season, we have one Freeman in there right now. Lila's there; she's plant dyeing, I believe, again, which is quite this weekend. And then there's one coming on Monday, and another one coming next week, and a week after that. So they're kind of trickling over. And as we get into May, then the numbers start rising again.
Actually, Lila's project right now is not plant dyeing. She's sewing
No,
together
you're right.
a lot of sheepskins to make like a super blanket.
Yeah. If you take, let's see, these, the one on the wall there, and you flip it to the back side anyway, comb all the fur forward. But if you cut one side of it very straight, and then the same on another one, you can sew those two sides together, and you can make some really nice bedding, which is a godsend in the winter. We actually had 2 people using those. It's an expensive project because those skins aren't cheap, but if you shop around in secondhand anyway, and you might be able to find some that people are trying to get rid of, and cut them up, sew them together, and you have the warmest blanket you could ever have. Some of them even do them double, with the fur on the inside, and you have a sleeping bag, and it's like, ah. But that's the way to keep warm. Brutus says I'm dead. Excellent, Torben, says Maggie. Torben says, no, I can't claim the copyright on that one. It's probably a good thing. No, okay, anyway, but next weekend, there's a good chance we'll be here. We'll see how far I get on this thing. It's it looks like it's waving, but actually I can show you my update now. There was one thing I did want to check. because I was trying to count and then I realized I blew past my start point and increased, I think, the same amount twice. And then, of course, I don't know if you saw it, but I was stretching them out a little bit on the edge just to make sure all the links are locked into place so you don't have a surprise and find out it's a different size. It is almost wanting to wave a little bit. So now I'm going to, my last count was every 10th or 11th, and I'm going to jump straight to every 15th now so it doesn't wave. But it almost wants to wave now. So that's how I'm going to fix that, by the way, by increasing a little less often than I was before. So there you go. We'll see if I get any further with it. Okay, Karl? If we bring the Atlas, the Viking Atlas book that had the timeline that you were very happy with, do you think you could get a chapter on Odor the Beaver Butcher? Or at least, a little story.
At least
a limerick?
At least if you bring the book, I'm one step closer because I have a resource that would be useful.
Albert says YouTube didn't let me see that comment. Is it really? It's not edited on mine anyway.
Which comment?
So glad I read it. The one I probably shouldn't have read because I used a word or two.
Carolina?
The one that rhymes with Carolina. Yeah, that's sometimes I see people like spell that with a star.
But isn't that the scientific term for the thing?
Torben, if you got my YouTube censored again. Yes. Okay. Anyhow, we should go because we should probably eat something
So
other than ice cream.
They censor the correct term. But I could say kitty, pussy.
Cat kisses. The mayonnaise with the cat kisses.
Crevice, crack.
Say goodbye, Karl.
Cunt. Goodbye.
Goodbye. See you next week. Probably 7 o'clock. Bye. Oh, there. That's the button.